welcome to Reality Hour. I am Adam Samuel. Today, it is another episode of America's Got Talent. We are recapping, it's actually two episodes. Episode 3, Episode 4. We are doing our double headers, kind of every other week podcast. Joining me for this episode is my co-host, Eric. How are you doing today, Eric?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm managing. The COVID is still going on.
Seems like it's winding down. I'm doing great, all things considered. So,
I mean,
no one is doing great. I'm doing great as far as 2019 is concerned.
There's just getting by at this point. Like
2020 even. You're just, here's how out of it I am. I just said it was 2019.
Here we are. Another. It feels like a while. It's been a while since we talked, Eric.
It's been about 2 weeks. It's been 2 episodes of America's Got Talent. And
yeah, is right. Because I watched. Eric and I agreed on 11X that we are going to discuss this episode. Actually, it was 10.
I sent Adam 11, and then we agreed on 10.
Yeah, we agreed on 10X that we're going to be discussing here because I watched like the first half of episode 3, and it was getting a little difficult. So Eric and I, like I said, we're going to do 5 acts from each episode, the headlines of the contestants, and who knows what's going to even happen with this show moving forward. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, episode 4 was the last episode filmed with any audience at all, right?
I think.
The next episode was no audience, and then there was at home, I think.
I'm not positive. What I do know is that the one semi-good thing is that it seems like we're going to be back in the studio actually for the live shows. No audience.
Are we going to do that with I would love that, actually. Can you imagine? Like, there's no awkward clap. I've been at the audiences for America's Got Talent quite a few times, actually. And it's very, like, they tell you to kind of clap and stand at certain parts. I will say they don't, contrary to what people say, they don't tell you, like, to boo. Like, they tell you if you disagree, like, let your voice be heard. But they don't, like...
For the audition, for X Factor auditions that I saw in London, I remember they filmed us the crowd cheering and booing for nothing.
You know, they got to have those like little cutaways that they can have.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the audience quite a few times. I think it was Kenichi season that I was there. I remember because there was one part during the show, I had to go to the bathroom. I missed an act, and I was walking through the halls of Radio City Music Hall, and just randomly, like, standing there against the wall is Collins Key, who became, like, a huge YouTuber afterwards. And I just, like, said hello to him, like, awkwardly and walked by. And that was my experience of America's Got Talent a few times. I did go a lot, though. It's a lot of fun to be there for a fun live audience. I wouldn't recommend going more than once because after the first time, it does get a little bit but that first time was a lot of fun, Eric.
Great. Okay. So let's dive right. No headlines this week.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I mean, the only headlines are the world still sucks. Everything's on fire. Moving on. Let's talk about episode 3 with our deep dive.
Yes. So we are going to get into the deep dive. Let me just pull up my notes. Overall, I think of the 2 episodes we're going to be discussing, I think this was the weaker episode here, Eric.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, let's move on. Let's start. We're going to be going through the acts as they perform. So the first act we're going to be talking about here is Resound. Did I say that right? It sounds like resound, like resounding, or like
I don't know. It's just whatever it is.
Anyway, they are a gospel trio, and they're kind of played in contrast to a previous kind of quartet group, sort of, and they are performing "What the World Needs Now." I gotta say, of this episode, these guys were one of the highlights for me. I will say they were they weren't like an A, but they were like a B, maybe a B plus. Honestly,
I'd say B plus, A minus. I think they got fantastic voices, They won't win, but they've got fantastic voices, so it's nice seeing them.
I would actually even say they might have been my favorite of these two, of both of them, honestly, both these episodes.
Really? I mean, I'm not technically shocked by that, and it's a valid choice, but okay.
There's one other act I think I might have my eye on personally, but yeah, these were one of the highlights. They, like I said, they're doing What the World Needs Now. The one thing I did say is each one of the members has really strong voices, and I really liked their story, how they kind of came together, and they seem like good people. They seem like people you can kind of easily root for. This is me just being wishful, but I almost wish they'd done this a cappella, because their voices were just so strong. I was like, this could have been like an even better moment had you just done it with, like, I didn't think you needed the music, Eric.
Yeah, I think that could have worked. I remember when Cree sang this song on American Idol, and I thought it was really good, but that's all I remember.
Yeah, this is a song that can, like, it's very easily able to slip into, like, boring, because it's, like, such a simple melody, but they kept me engaged, which is a rarity for this song, like I said, but I think they were one of the highlights of these two episodes. And like I said, I would maybe put them in my top 2. I really like them. I think they're good, but like I said, they're not something that would keep me coming to the show. Like, they're a strong act. I enjoyed watching them, but are they really going to be someone like I'm really going to get behind, like I'm really going to get invested in? Not really, because America's Got Talent kind of has it gets you expect things on these shows. Like, there's certain acts that are winning acts, there's certain acts that are not winning acts. It's just a fact of the show. And as much as I enjoy them, they're not a winning act here. And because you know that, it just hinders your ability to kind of
get excited.
Yeah. If you know what I mean.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
All right. Well, who are we talking about next, Eric?
Daniela Tulashova.
All right. So she is a 13-year-old singer from I think it's Ukraine, somewhere. And I did have an observation that I kind of wanted, that I just realized while I was watching this contestant. So it's this girl, she comes out, and as soon as she starts talking with an accent, I was like, this girl is definitely going to be good, because this is an act that was probably from a different show that Simon saw, brought on, and like that. Have you noticed that whenever someone has an accent, they're automatically, I assume they're going to be good, because
usually they
brought it
9 times out of 10 they're amazing because they were invited. Yes,
because they were invited. Simon saw them somewhere else, said, "Hey, come on over," and so her look kind of reminded me a little bit of a Billie Eilish kind of thing, and
for some reason I got Billie Eilish vibes too. Which makes sense.
Weird.
I was a fan of Daniela's voice in the verses, but the chorus I thought was better.
Yeah. For me, my notes for Daniela was flashes of brilliance, but overall pretty subpar. Honestly, I thought there were some good notes here, but I was thinking this girl she's untrained, which is what I think is kind of going on. She's she's definitely a solid singer. I don't think this didn't blow me away. I wasn't impressed. I would maybe give it a B-, honestly, overall. But I think since both of us saw Billie Eilish, I'm going to assume the producers saw. What some of these shows like to do is they like to have, on American Idol and The X Factor, they like to have like that mini-me, kind of that, like, oh, this person's like a little Elton John. This person's like a little Freddie Mercury. They love having those like comparisons, and I think they probably saw her as maybe a Billie Eilish kind of thing. And I gotta say, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a song like "When the Party Ends" or some of her songs to kind of play into that thing they're going for.
Okay, I wouldn't be surprised either.
But yeah, it's crazy though about the accent. Like, when you think about it, like when you're watching the show, just you'll start to notice things.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we move on to Marty Ross. He is a comedian. Thank God we've had so few comedians this season, and so few actually good ones that made it through. So he's an 80-year-old guy, and I will say, when he started out his act, I was like, oh no, because on America's Got Talent, if you got they play into the role the producers cast them in. Like America's Got Talent is a lot like being cast. Like you're playing a role. So he's the old comic, and his acts are going to be nothing but that. And from the first couple acts of jokes, I was like, oh no. Did you get that vibe?
The first couple jokes were terrible, but then 20 seconds in, he suddenly got funny. So,
yeah. Overall, though, I don't think he was that great. Like I
he
said,
wasn't spectacular, but I thought he was good enough to make it through.
The problem is that some of these acts are just okay. Like they're not bad, but they're not great either. And I'm kind of like, where's the greatness? Like, where's the big moment kind of for the show? Because like an act like Marty Ross, let's be frank, he's a fodder act at best. Like maybe he makes it through one round. I'm looking for he's a spot filler. He's just going to be one of those acts that's destined to go home, even if he makes it to the live shows. And these 2 episodes, I felt like everyone was like that. Every contestant was a spot filler. They're just someone who's Eric shaking his head, but I can't get excited about any of these people.
I think we found our winner in this episode or the next one.
Was it Marty?
No.
Do you have any other notes on Marty?
I do not.
All right. Well, let's talk about Selena. Selena is a singer.
Can I make a prediction right now?
Go ahead.
That Selena was your ever favorite act of these 2 episodes?
I was just now that I actually, I'll be honest, I forgot about her, but now that I'm remembering her, I'm going to make it a top 3. So
I wasn't exactly wrong. Okay, got it.
But yeah, it's weird because I forgot about her, but she's also, I think, one of the other highlights of the episode, which I don't know if that's a really good sign. But she is performing Shawn Mendes' Mercy, and I gotta say, just for America's Got Talent, like the song choices, it just kind of they fit exactly into the story. The judges know exactly the questions to ask. But I also really liked her, and I also really like this song, Eric.
Yeah, I liked her. She's got a nice voice. I think she's going to get lost in the shuffle probably, but she's nice. She was good.
Yeah, I don't know if she has she's a good singer, but I don't think she's a great singer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the personality and the story and then the talent itself. The personality and story is so much higher. The talent is a little bit lower. She's not bad. She's solid. I just don't think she's amazing. Like if you look at the winners that actually won the show, well, that's actually not.
The winners that won. The winners that won. We have an episode title.
What?
The winners that won is our episode title.
But you know what I'm saying. Like if you look at the track record of I can't even speak. The track record of people who have won, I don't see her maybe fitting in. I think she's, like I said, I enjoy her. I think she's a really cool person. I didn't like when she's talking about her story and then Simon Cowell and how he start bringing up it did feel like a little bit like disingenuous, like from the panel, because I was like, you're just reading off. You know everything about this person and you're just playing it up. But I really enjoyed her. I thought she was, like I said, my top 3 of the night of these 2 nights.
Okay.
Otherwise, we move on. Who are we talking about next? We have Christina Ray, our Golden Buzzer act from Heidi Klum. She is performing 2 songs because Simon Cowell, it's got a Simon Cowell. First is In the Air by Phil Collins, and Give Me Shelter, which is one of my favorite Rolling Stone songs. And she is story. There's more kind of emphasis on how I did find it funny that she works in a body salon. like she melts people's fat. Like I thought that was really cool. I thought I right off the bat I was really liking this girl. What did you think?
I think she has an absolutely fantastic voice, and I think she's our potential winner.
I don't know. Because we've seen this type of act quite a few times in the past, actually. Yeah. Like
we absolutely have. The way they edited it, and the way that Simon walks up to her and says, "You might be one of the best singers we've ever had on the show." I think they're hyping her as a potential winner, if not definitely a finalist.
It's funny. I actually didn't think she was. There were moments she like the young girl from earlier in the episode. I put flashes of brilliance, but there were also some really weak spots here. But the flashes of brilliance were like really brilliant. Like they reminded me of Jennifer Hudson at times.
Yeah,
like she's nowhere near
good. Were spectacular.
But the parts that weren't were a little
underwhelming. Yes,
a little underwhelming, and I could see that be like. If she didn't have the story and she was just some regular person, I could see that easily.
Basically, what it is, she's untrained. She has all the potential there, but she doesn't know necessarily what to do with her voice.
Yeah, so I think the good thing is she just has the producers on her side. Like I said, if she was
exactly, she does, and that's why I think if they give her the right support that she'll need, she could very well win this show. So
look. It would make for the good story. I mean, like the Hunger Games, like in that show, in that movie, they kind of it's all about the story and the ratings. And if she were to win, it would be a good story. Do I think she'll win? No, I don't think she will win. I don't, because this is just going off the trends of the show, of what we've seen in the past. But then again, we've also Just Sam kind of broke that on American Idol. But I don't know. I think it's too early to call her the winner. Maybe.
I said I didn't call her the winner. I called her a potential winner.
All right. Well, any final thoughts from this episode, Eric?
Nope.
All right. Well, we got episode 4 coming up next. Yeah, this was I thought this was both these episodes were honestly very underwhelming, Eric.
Mm-hmm, pretty much.
Who would you say was your favorite from the first 5?
From the first 5, Christina.
Oh, well, yeah, that's pretty obvious. All right, so we have our first act of the night. It is, who are we talking about first, Eric?
This one, I don't know the order. I'm just going to go Ashley Marino. I'll just go in my order.
So yeah, this is Simon Cowell loves having the acts kind of perform a second time. This time we got 3 times from Ashley. I do think this is like child cruelty a little bit from Simon Cowell.
I think yes, but I also think it's kind of unfair that she gets 3 separate chances to audition.
Well, this was so staged. I mean,
yeah.
happens to have the perfect song. Simon Cowell, it's like going to a puppet show, but I could see the puppeteer doing the tricks. I could see Simon Cowell doing this over her, and I was just nothing against her, or it's just the show, man. It's just what the show is kind of. But I will say, take that all away, I still just think she's an okay singer. I don't think she's amazing. She's just has now this whole thing that happened to her.
Yeah, I think she has a good voice. Song wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. The original, I'm on top of the original. That's the one I watched. And I kind of think it's unfair that she gets 3 chances, but I'm also kind of fine with it because at this point, I don't care how unfair they make the show because everything's fake. So I'll just accept what they give me.
Eric, she would have gotten 12 tries until she decided to sing the original. She could have said, I'm going to do this song. She sings it. Sounds like, maybe we need one more. She comes out, does another, maybe we need one more. Until she just did the stupid song that that they really, really wanted her to do all along. But yeah, this is just, it's basically everything I hate about America's Got Talent where it's just so obviously manufactured drama that I'm just kind of rolling my eyes at the show, and I didn't used to. And like I said, it not only is a deterrent from the show, it's also a deterrent from the contestant herself, because just have her do the original first, Simon. Just like, don't make her go through the whole song and dance. But also, the first song she did anyway, I thought was really good, honestly. I was like,
I didn't watch it, so I'll go back.
All right, well, that's what I got from Ashley, honestly.
Okay.
Who are we talking about next?
I'm going out of order. We'll do Waffle Crew.
Waffle Crew, which just always makes me hungry when I hear that. Also because I've been like dieting recently, so anytime I hear anything food. But they are street dancers from New York, and they start off saying that they perform on the subways and on which just gave me flashbacks, because there's a chance I might have actually seen them perform at some point, because I used to go to the city to work often, and I would ride the subway, and you would always see people come. And I've said this for Just Sam, and I've said it before, I don't like trained performers, like subway performers. I think they're really...
We're digging that hole again. Isn't that crazy?
digging that hole again, because I will die on this hill, because it's just so annoying. Eric, have you ever like seen a subway performer or trained performer? You're sitting, you're kind of stressed about the workday or things that are going to happen, and some guy is going to start doing backflips in front of you. Like,
I don't take the train very often, so I don't know.
Well, that aside, Adam's bias towards trained singers aside,
Bias against trained singers.
Against trained singers, these guys are very genuine. They seem like very cool people. Their act itself, it felt like a street performance, like I've seen on the streets of New York. It's good. It's not amazing, but it's good. I don't think it deserved a golden buzzer, honestly.
Never do I. And I think the problem is, like, we just saw the Unbeatable win champions, and these guys are okay, but they're nowhere near as good as the Unbeatable.
Yeah, they're just okay. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's America's Got Talent this season is hyping up okay acts as the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I see through the lie. I see through the words, Simon. I see what you're. It's not working on me.
Okay. Noah Epps next.
All right, so Noah Epps, right off the bat, I just want to say, whoever did this kid's makeup gets an A++, because he looked freaky AF. Seen that on stage, and he looks like something out of Annabelle Creation or some like horror movie, and I was like, what the... Right off the bat, I was like, I'm into this, because it is something I've never seen on America's Got Talent. I was like, freak me out, dude. Like, go do whatever you're gonna do. And this kid delivered. Like, his act, it's freaky, it's weird, it's uncomfortable, and I loved it. And it was great. And this is my other third act to complete my favorite of these two episodes. It reminded me of a much more like... It reminded me of a scary version of Americana from a couple of
I was thinking of that comparison too. I would say this kid is good. Very clever act. Super talented. Not my thing necessarily. I was a little creeped out by it, but totally valid that this guy's in your top 3.
This was my thing. Because I'm so used to the same shtick with the singers. The same, like, this is different. It is fun. I was into it. I like, from the second he walks on stage, I was like, you got me. Let's go. And the performance was really good. It was uncomfortable, and but like I said, in a good way. Like, I don't like contortion, but it freaked me out, and I thought it was really good. And I would maybe consider giving my golden buzzer to this act, but because there are kind of other episodes, I don't know. This would maybe be an A- for me. It's not like an A+ because I still think there's room to go here. But overall, thoroughly enjoyed it. Of my top 3, I would probably put this at number 1, honestly.
Makes sense. Okay. You ready for the next act?
All right, let's go.
Let's go to Nolan Neal.
Nolan Neal. This dude was on The Voice a couple of years back.
Yes, he was, apparently. I don't care.
Yeah. So he's got. We're going the full story for this contestant. He has a bit of a troubled past with his father, and he was kind of fell into this cycle of drugs and alcohol, or was it just alcohol?
I don't know. I didn't watch the story.
Don't quote me, but he was in a bad place, and he managed to pick himself up and kind of get back into music. He is a singer-songwriter type, very much. We've seen this act quite a few times in the past. We saw it with Noah Guthrie. We saw it with that guy with the beard who sang Imagine last season.
Chris Clafford, yeah.
What?
Chris Clafford, yeah.
Yeah. This is an act that we've seen a few times in the past, and it wasn't my favorite this time, Eric.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to come out and say it. This was my favorite singing act of the season so far. And it's my golden buzzer.
Whoa. Did you give Noah Guthrie your golden buzzer?
I did not. I gave it to Shin Lim.
Oh, right. That was that season. Look, I'm just predisposed. Like, I know these acts don't do well. Like, the singer-songwriter.
Oh, I know he's not going to do well. I'm not winning this time. But I don't care because I really, really loved it. I think he has a fantastic voice. Exactly the type of singer I get invested in. Some shades of David Cook actually in this that I really enjoyed. So I loved him. So
I mean, look, the performance itself was solid, but I don't think he's gonna win.
Oh, he's not gonna win. I don't think he's gonna win. Second round of live shows at best.
Yeah, Noah barely made it to the second round. Remember?
Mm-hmm. And then they buffed him hard.
I
saw coming, and he didn't. And I talked to him about the bus when I actually saw him live a couple of years ago. So,
what did he say?
Yeah, that seems like something they would do. He didn't know that. He didn't know that. So basically, I'm gonna tell the story now because it's such a obnoxious story. So Noah Guthrie got to sing for the second live show performance. He sang "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston, and he did it in an arrangement, and the arrangement was exactly the same as an arrangement that I knew Simon already hated on X Factor from the year before. And so I asked Noah, "Hey, how did the arrangement for "I Will Always Love You" come up?" And he basically said, "Oh, I work with producers on that," which is code name for like producers. And I said, "Yeah, well, I watched this on X Factor. I watch X Factor. This except the exact same arrangement, the exact same thing, and Simon hated that too." And he's like, "Oh, that sounds like something they would do." It's so
Look, we do not endorse some of these tactics that kind of the deck is stacked against contestants on America's Got Talent. Like, you should just know that going in.
And the excruciating thing is, after seeing Noah live, Noah deserved, if not to win, because Shin Lim is so good, Noah deserved second place that year. He was freaking amazing.
Who was second place?
Zucchero.
Oh, right. It's funny. Actually, recently I bought one of Noah Guthrie's songs, and I've been bike riding a lot lately, and I actually heard it recently. The one he performed in the live shows that Simon hated.
No, he didn't perform one that he didn't perform one that he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
You mean "Show Me Some Mercy," the original song?
Yeah, that was it. "Show Me Some Mercy."
No, they liked that song.
Wasn't he bust that round, or
he was bust the next round?
No, I feel like he was bust the first time, and he like barely squeaked by.
No, he wasn't bust the first time. It was bust the second time.
I'm pretty sure someone said that.
Whatever. Regardless, anyway. Make it for everybody did. Anyway.
All right, who's next? Is that it? Do we have
Yep.
anyone else?
We have one more act to talk about, the Spyros Brothers.
Oh, the Spyros Brothers. They are the Diablo duo. We saw this like act a few years ago. I think it was Mr. Mochi was his name.
Yes, but this
And he was a cool dude.
Mochi was only doing it by himself. These people were tossing it back and forth, which was pretty cool.
It's really just a rebranding of the Mochi act, honestly.
Yes.
It's the same shtick. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's a variety act. It's something you don't get. I did find it a little bit like when he throws it to the guy in the audience, and the audience like he threw it like that part. I was like, I don't know. I'm not always that. The first time that was ever done on one of these shows was on Britain's Got Talent on one of the. It was the Michael Jackson dancer, and that was when it was executed correctly. When you have kind of that like second person come onto the stage mid performance. If you're watching this live, what was that guy's name? He was a dancer. He did Michael Jackson, and some guy kind of joined him on stage. He pretended to be like a janitor or something, and then they started dancing. Do you know who I'm talking about, Eric?
I don't.
Chat, help me out. Although we will mention that at the end. Overall, though, for these guys, it was fun. Don't think it's a winning act, though.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. It's not a winning act, but I enjoyed it. Ready for chat? Azad said, no good magic acts this year. Looks like Shin Lim ruined the show for magicians. Shin Lim ruined the show for lots of things. Because I'm not going to find someone who I like as much as going to win.
No, Shin Lim didn't ruin the show. Simon Cowell ruined the show. The last good season was Kenichi's season, who I still to this day think maybe the best winner of America's Got Talent of all time.
No.
Who would you say is the best winner of all time?
Shin Lim number 1, Darcy Lin number 2.
I would go Kenichi. I would go Paul Zerden.
Paul Zerden was number 3 for the record.
Which is funny because Paul Zerden, every time he's been on the Champions, has gotten like bust. Like he's never been able to live up to how he actually did on the show. I'll be honest, I don't even remember most of the season. Like there was the first thing I watched was the Latte Dogs. Then it was I don't even remember. There's too many names.
Kenichi.
Oh, best season ever, by the way.
Then Matt Franco.
No, Matt Franco was solid. I would actually put Matt Franco up there.
I would.
Matt Franco, Kenichi, and Paul Zerden.
No, Shin Lim is better than Matt.
Keep going. Who was after Matt?
Paul Zerden, then Grace Vanderwall.
What's Grace up to nowadays? She's like supposed to be the next Taylor Swift.
Disney thing.
What?
She starred in a Disney show or whatever movie, whatever it was.
Did you check it out?
I did not watch it now.
Good for her, though. I mean,
yeah, she's doing well for herself. Darcy Lynn,
what's she doing?
Touring, selling arenas out and stuff. She's doing really well for herself.
Yeah, between the two of them, people always say like Grace was kind of the bigger find. In my opinion, Darcy was the bigger find between the
Darcy
two.
Darcy is definitely the bigger find.
Grace is the more marketable one, but Darcy is the more talented one, I would say. They're both talented.
Darcy is probably the most talented contestant ever on the show.
All right. Anything else, Eric, from the episode, from the show, from life, from American Idol?
Not really. I'm so happy that I'm officially gonna lose the America's Got Talent draft this year, or the Golden Buzzer thing. My prediction is my Golden Buzzer is not gonna win, and I know that. But I just felt like I have to say I'm gonna pull a insert judge here and use my Golden Buzzer on an act that I know it's not gonna win, but I like.
All right. Well.
So,
I think we actually, Eric and I discussed that if at the end of the auditions, then we could give out a golden buzzer also.
I'm going to let you do that. I've already decided mine, but I'm going to give you the advantage because I've won America's Got Talent golden buzzers twice in a row. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a leg up this time.
Fair enough. It's funny. I've won American Idol But you win. No, you won. You won American Idol last season.
I won this season, yes.
Yeah. So
another reason I'm willing to give you a little bit of what I got this time.
we'll see. I can tell you, if no one else kind of impresses me, it's gonna go to Noah, honestly. But we shall see. We shall see. Otherwise, anything else, Eric?
Nope. Let's
All right. Well, then
wrap this up.
I will say I am Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at Adam Soapbox. I run my website, adamsoapbox.com. I still have that blog post. Like I've gotten one page of it done, and I've just started a short story like on a whim, and I've just been running with it since. And I'm almost done with the short story, and then I'll go back to the blog post. But where can we find you, Eric?
EricAscher.com, Eric_Ascher on Twitter, bit.ly/EricLawVids.
All right. Well, what is the law for? Is it LA Vids?
Eric Lewis Ascher, my name.
Oh, gotcha.
Well,
It sounds like LA.
So
What?
I came
It's
up
like
with that when I was like 10. So
better than I could have done for when I was 10. Anyway, for you, those who've joined us over this episode, thank you so much. We'll be back in 2 more weeks for another podcast. If you have any ideas for podcasts you want us to do, let us know in the comments, the chat, and we'll go from there. But until next time, peace.